to this week's very special epilogue episode of The Last Refuge. I'm your friendly neighborhood dungeon master, DM Jazzy Hands, and with me I have...
Byzdera,
Kit,
Bria,
and Flik.
Last week, y'all saved the fucking world. I don't know what to tell you. Well, that's true. Some crabs saved the fucking world.
That's true.
Yeah.
We did nothing. We had nothing to do with it.
nothing at all.
You all defeated the beast, you freed the elements from their millennia's-old prison, and now it's time to find out a little bit, broad strokes of course, about what happens next.
Feast.
After, of course,
Feast and ale.
the feasting.
Until we all
Can I
die.
finish my intro? What is in store for the characters after their victory? Will I end up killing Byzdera just for shits and giggles after this? And what
fight.
mysteries will still remain even at the end of this? Let's find out. Hey, y'all.
Hello.
It does bear, I think, saying that it has been a week for you all who are listening and watching, and it has been an hour and 10 minutes for us since the finale.
We completed the last episode.
If we seem a little fragile when we talk, that's why. How are we doing?
Just fine.
Okay.
Just fine.
The caffeine and sugar helped a lot.
Definitely.
And food. Just,
Food,
general sustenance.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm still not hungry, y'all.
Oh man. So we just want to, this is going to be super free form. You all have been thinking some thoughts about what you might want, what the future might look like for your characters, at least like I said, in broad strokes. And I've got a couple of notes about people and things left unresolved that we can sort of talk a little bit about. But let's start with the celebration a little. And let's not worry about who's injured and who you want to, try and bring back and all of that stuff right now. Let's just talk about the party. Where is it?
Western Island.
Okay.
No?
All right.
Am I
Yeah.
wrong?
I think you're right. It's
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay.
Maybe we can have multiple parties.
I mean,
On
sure.
multiple islands,
Sure, the first
you know?
one. The sort of like the true victory, like moment of relief party. It feels like it should be on the Western Island, on the Last Refuge. I like that. I like that. What is someone give me either something that is served or something that is said or something that is performed.
What was the jerky that RX used to make?
Oh, the lizard bird jerky.
There's a lot of lizard bird jerky.
Yes, there's definitely. I mean, listen, you all devastated the population of lizard birds long ago, but they have begun to come back, and so you can devastate them again.
Okay, great. Can the
With
orc...
all those elementals running around, they still thrive?
Listen, hardy creatures of the air, they can hibernate and things.
And multiply, apparently.
Absolutely.
Can the orcs also make some sort of like moonshine that just like makes us all want to die, like for the first
No, I think
the kobolds.
I think the kobolds made it. I don't think the orcs made it. The kobolds made it.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, I like that. What else? What else happens at this party?
You said perform,
I
and
did.
so while you were all planning the menu, I have made them erect a stage,
Okay.
and there's gonna be smoke, and there's gonna be lasers, and there's gonna be confetti, and the four of us come out, and we start rocking our instruments.
All right, I told everyone they didn't need dice, but it turns out
Apparently, we still need
Just
that.
need one.
you need one d20. No. The adrenaline of the moment. You get
Yes.
advantage.
Yes!
Band practice.
This is not a practice. This is it. This is the performance that we have been practicing.
It'll do.
for.
All right. You know what? You all can start. They can see you, so they know who's talking. Give me your numbers.
15.
All right.
16.
All right.
I'm so sorry. This is really important, and I put away my Flik dice, and I have to have the Flik dice because it's just why. But I put them away. Okay. We get advantage, correct?
You do.
Ooh, it's good. Well, the flat D20 or the
No, I mean,
charisma?
you're charisma and all that. What'd you roll in the die?
19.
Great. Kit, what'd you get?
I said a 16.
Holy shit. It's not a practice. You all get proficiency in performance now if you didn't have it before.
I already had it.
You didn't even ask my number. It's like I'm not
Oh,
there.
I thought you said 16.
That was me.
Oh my god, you're the same person.
See, I told you. We
What'd you
sound
get,
exactly
Bria?
the same.
I got a 24, so the spoons
Nice.
are hot.
Rockin'.
The spoons are hot. I love
The
it.
banjo's only slightly out of tune. It's like half a step
But 15
down.
is not bad.
15 is rather good. Yeah.
I already have proficiency in it.
I love it. I love it. A final band performance. I think that feels very right.
And it was what, the last time that we needed to get all
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
did it, and we finally freaking did it.
I feel like it's one of those scenes like at the end of Shrek where everything kind of goes, and then all of
Yeah.
a sudden we start playing. It's like,
That is
Yes, don't do a real song.
precisely what I was thinking. Precisely.
Is it? Yeah. Okay. Great. I love it. I love that. Yeah. A little Shrek musical number at the end. I love it. All right. Well, let's look at sort of the immediate. Does anyone have stuff that you've thought about for what you do right away? Are there priorities that you want to take care of? Are there people you want to look in on? I have some stuff, but I want to see what you all are thinking about that time period to start with.
After the beast is defeated, do the tidal waves stop?
Oh
Does
yeah,
the
we can
magma
talk.
stop?
Yeah, we can talk about that a little bit. So as the beast is defeated, it takes a little while. Nothing gets worse, but it does take a little while for things to recede. And obviously, things that are broken, remain broken. The Eastern Island will never be the same. It's in pieces. Literally, the island is in pieces. So that's not a thing that just fixes itself. But the earthquakes stop and the tidal waves stop. The Northern Island eventually thaws. But that takes a long time, and even when it's thawed, there's so much floodwater, so that island remains uninhabitable for a good while after the fact. The topography of the Western Island, some of the later volcanoes, the Well volcano does eventually actually recede back to flat ground, and when it's there, there's no sign of the well anymore.
We will rebuild.
Yeah. But some of the earlier, some of the magma vents never quite close and things like that. And since we're talking about it, this also takes a while, and it takes a while before you even begin to notice. But your powers from the keys begin to fade as well. The central node was destroyed, and it was the focal point of this sort of ley line magic that had been done by the Arcanists. And so each of the four nodes eventually begins to crack and wither away as well. And as that slowly happens over time, the keys lose their power because they were created in an age that was all about this control, and you have broken the center of that. In terms of magic on the full moon, as months begin to pass, that always remains a little quirky, not quite as dangerous as it used to be, even just the full moon. But things are always a little odd, a little quirky, a little unexpected when magic is involved on those 3 days each month. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, we talked about Kit and Flik's infirmary a little bit.
Yeah, let's talk about that because
Yeah.
there's lots of missing people, and then there's several dead people. Do you all have thoughts about that to kick it off?
Well, if there are several missing people, I feel like one of the first things that I would do is try and find them.
Yeah.
And I think that since Kit has a bit of a time constraint in terms of bringing people back. So I
Sure.
do think a first order of business will be to cast reincarnate on as many people as she can.
Yeah. So, let's talk about the people first. So we know that Mox is missing, and Ox is missing. I didn't even think about it.
And Hawks?
And Ox is right where she's supposed to be.
Thank goodness.
Hush, original Hush is gone, and no, not. If there are remains, they're not accessible for a while. But eventually, Octavia does find Ox. Talanis was never found, but she does find Ox's remains. And brings those, immediately casts a teleport to bring her to wherever you are, wherever you two are. Much later, well after your, I believe it's for both of you 10 days, much past the 10-day mark that either of you could help, Mox is found and the Warforged are found, and they're okay. They actually, because of their nature, they don't have to breathe or eat or sleep. And so when they fled, they were actually caught in a part of the eastern island that broke off and was sort of floating away. And they just dived into the ocean and sort of stayed at the bottom of the ocean until they felt it was safe to come out again. And so were protected from the worst of it. They had some adventures, and they tell you a little bit about them when the magma vents would open down there and the few moments that fire elementals were able to come out before the water sort of extinguished them. But they're okay. But back at the infirmary, I guess the first order would be Ox. I don't know which one of you.
You want to roll for it?
I should also say, meta-wise, the way that we've dealt with these types of spells before, because they are pretty costly normally, is that it takes from you. And so if either of you wanted to cast more than two of these in your 10-day window, there's a real chance that it would kill you. You could try, and we can keep the dice out for that if we want. But you could probably, it's draining and exhausting and awful. You could do 2 in that time frame before things get hairy.
Flik will stick with 2, most likely. I don't think he's going to risk his life again.
So we got Ox. Let's see, who else can we talk about?
Varn. What happened with Varn?
Varn is pulls through, but is lots of rehab and never quite the same. But Varn does pull through. Western Island Robert is okay, and they're around. Who else are we? I'm tired. Who else is dead?
Everyone?
Sure. There are plenty
Dranks?
of. Dranks is alive, but Dranks, in the moments while you all were fighting the beast, there was a real run on the entrance to the cave by a lot of different elementals, and Dranks got caught up pretty badly in a sort of air and fire elemental combination. It was blinded, but he is, he survived. Who else?
Does Lesser Restoration solve that? Blindness?
Well, it solves the condition, but when one's, I don't want to get too graphic, but when one's organs are no longer intact,
sure,
it requires a more deft touch than a second level spell.
Perhaps it requires some regeneration.
Now that might be something that could solve the problem, yeah.
What about the sister and the Sapphire Dragon?
You all, and we're jumping around time-wise, I know, but when you all get back to the Earth Cave to rest before you leave the heart of the world, she's gone. And the dragon tells you that she sat very quietly for a long time after you all left that last time, and decided that she didn't want to know how it ended. It was all he wanted, the dragon, but she didn't want to know. And so she left. And is somewhere in the plane of Earth. And he has sort of grown fond of her, I suppose. She is quiet.
Oh, the sister? I thought he was going to be fond of us.
No, you're much too loud. So he's gonna go off and find her. So that one day, he likes her and might be interesting traveling with a mortal, but also he wants to be able to tell her what happened if one day she changes her mind.
What about Mirko's original?
Mirko also is gone. And what's interesting is you look for him because he was knocked unconscious at the end of the fight. And once everything is done, once you saw the visions and you looked back down, Mirko was gone. And there was no glorp left there, as is what usually happens when a glorp creature dies. So after thinking about it for a while, you're not sure that was Glorp Mirko. That may have been the original, and he may have, like his sister, decided he'd done his duty and taken his leave. Unlike his sister, you don't know where he is, where he headed, what he's up to, but he did his duty, at least in his mind.
Fair enough.
People
And
can
Fiona?
change.
Fiona does stick around. Fiona feels that she is connected to this place through the Necroman. As a druid, you know, she has been here as long as you have, doing different things, but she has built a connection to the land. Oh my god, she's distraught. And she continues her studies and her research with the Necroman. And I think she does confide in you all. I don't know. It's up to you all if you want to sort of pursue a closer relationship with her. Probably not Bria. That feels dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
But I think at some point she would confide in at least one of you that she is seeking a way to become like the Necroman, but in a more natural druidic way. She is fascinated by the idea of being able to sort of be an eternal guardian is maybe strong, but keeper of this place. So she that's her focus, and it consumes her in many ways, and so she's not super present as time goes on, but she's there. Let's see. Who else did I write about? Oh, no, that's Western Island Robert. Speaks to you, Kit. And says, "Well, ye howdy, what a story you all let me be a part of. I can't even stand it." But now that the nodes are gone and the Arcanium are sort of pointless, I feel a pull. You know, I've been away from my home for a very long time, and well, my feet just want to go marching. There's an instinct inside of me that says I have to go. I don't know where, just go. And they sort of point in a direction, and they seem sure of it, but it's not pointing to anything in particular. And they say, you think you could find a way to send me home?
Yeah. We can do that.
And it's no easy feat. I mean, you have access to plane shift, and you can eventually learn that the Roberts are creatures called Modrons that came from a plane called Mechanus. But plane shift by itself isn't enough, right? You need a tuning fork that is attuned to that plane, and getting that, finding a way to find that magical frequency is a project for sure. But if you're willing, you can do it.
Kit is definitely willing.
Yeah. I think that's everybody I wrote down things about, at least for a start. Do you all... Ox... Okay, I just need to know, is Ox raised or reincarnated?
What would Octavia prefer?
Ox was always pretty adventurous. Of the four of them, he was the one that was sort of always on the front lines and was always, running ahead to see what was there. And I don't know if she's super comfortable making the decision, but she tells you that much about him. And she says, I also know that he wouldn't have expected either. He knew what he was doing when he made sure that last elevator got up.
I think that sounds like reincarnating.
All right. A new adventure for Ox. Why don't you roll me percentile?
A 29.
So you take Ox's remains and you perform this ritual, and it, just like every time Flik has done a spell to bring back the dead, it is exhausting, and it takes days for you to get back to where you are. But when the ritual is completed, lying on the slab where Ox's remains were is an elf, a high elf. If you didn't know Octavia so well, he could be a family member of hers. And I think the two of them, now seeing that they have a long time together, make a life together.
It's a love story.
Huh?
It's a little love story.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh,
I think
love
so.
that.
All right, y'all's turn. What you got for me?
Wait, but what about Bria and her baby?
Oh, we'll get to it.
Oh. Shall we begin this?
I think we shall.
Yeah.
All right. So
Well,
I think,
which island would you like to start with?
well, no, because I actually, something he brought up a great thing. So
Dear.
Varn needed a lot of rehab.
Yeah, I think
Right?
so.
And so I think that's where it starts. I think
Okay.
that Biz and Bria kind of took it upon themselves to start helping Varn with rehab, and within that created a companionship,
Mm-hmm.
right? One of those like, I hate you so much that I can't fucking wait to be around you every day, right? And they started building a rehab center
Mm-hmm.
/ spa.
That's not where this is going.
I didn't, and I don't know how.
And we took over Silfson, the ruins
We
of
rebuilt
Silfson. We
Silfson.
rebuilt Silfson
Oh, Lord.
to be a day spa
Uh-huh.
that we named the 5 o'clock.
Aw.
But
I love it.
it doesn't stop there.
No, of course it
Of
doesn't.
course it doesn't.
No.
Because we felt good about the rebuilding and everything, so we went to each island and rebuilt a town and created
Oh my god, did you
A
fucking
franchise?
franchise?
a day
my
spa.
Oh.
Day spas.
We didn't bring organized religion, but we did bring capitalism.
Yeah.
We have been telling you for years that we were going to do this.
I know. I know.
You shouldn't have let us
I'm
both
I'm
live.
not surprised, just
So,
disappointed.
Taryn, would you like to say some of the places and names that we have?
Oh my
Sure,
god.
sure. Let me pull up our thread.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, you should do Eastern because
Yeah.
that one was very
Okay.
easy.
So the eastern, taking off of the Bony Beach with all the bone animals, we've got the
God.
Tired Bones Day Spa.
Oh.
The northern is, of course, the ski chalet.
Sure. Sure.
Very
Yeah.
clearly.
Yeah.
And we may at some point need to use some magic in order to keep, lights
Yeah.
up there and stuff. But we'll
Yeah.
make a portal back to Candia. It'll be
Oh
fine.
my god.
That'd be great.
Don't
I think
worry
Flik
about
has
it.
significant objection to that, but we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
Lydia, would you like to have Alex read the Southern Islands for us?
That could be fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll have Alex read the Southern Island.
Oh no.
Trinku min tagurachejo.
I would say CO.
Sio.
CO.
Let me try again.
Yeah.
Trinku min taguraseyo.
There you go. I think.
Uh-huh.
Taguraseyo. Yeah.
Mhm.
Do you know, and the translation being,
Thank you.
drink me day spa.
Oh my god.
There's a lot of glorp there.
There's a lot of glorp. You have
yeah.
glorp baths instead of mud baths.
Okay, wait, I have a very, very important question for you.
Yes.
Do non-glorp people attend the Drink Me Day Spa?
They can. There's non-glorp options.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. They're okay.
There
Yeah,
are
yeah, yeah.
Glorp
Yeah.
options.
Listen, the world is now, they're apart. Like people are ferrying things
listen,
back and forth.
I'm mostly asking because glorp is gross.
Yes, there is still a mud
Okay.
bath
I
spot.
just needed to know.
And then of course the last one, we have one on the center island, of course,
Okay.
called Heart of the Island.
Oh, sure.
Of course.
Sure.
And Bria and I are like the Grace and Frankie of the TLR.
Well, that makes yeah, except that you do not age at the same rate anymore.
But, you know.
What's her daughter's name? The blonde Mallory. You're Grace and Mallory.
Grace and Mallory. Yes, we can be Grace and Mallory.
I love it. I love it.
I think for
Mallory
Bria
or
too,
Brianna?
No, Brianna, you're right.
I think for Bria too, like the connection of these islands is really important, and that's like as much as we joke about the day spa. Like I think that connecting the islands and connecting the people that are left, and all of that. So even like the Eastern Island, which got all broken up, I think like building bridges, which could again be fun for Biz and Bria to do.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Biz could be running across the water back and forth, putting planks down.
Yeah.
But yes,
tying ropes and things.
I think we very much we find a way to bury the dagger, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
We don't actually bury the dagger.
We bury a metaphorical dagger.
Yeah, that's what I meant, like the hatchet. Like, metaphorical.
Well, we could bury a real dagger that just doesn't have any magical properties.
Yeah.
That's what we can do.
Sorry, dissociated.
Yeah.
You done?
I was like,
I also think, because we've got all the time in the world now, right?
Well, you
I
don't.
think that
Sorry, I meant because you. I meant because you and Flik don't have timeless body anymore.
Bye,
You're a nightmare.
Karen.
You're a nightmare.
I didn't log out. I just got rid of my video. Sorry, Solomon. I'm so sorry. I do think the other thing that I had like noted down was I think obviously like we're still spending time with Flik and Kit, right? But I think history is really important for Bria. Like after all of this that we've been through, finding different ways to, whether it's building libraries or whatever it is, to not only rebuild but also really track this history and hopefully it doesn't repeat itself.
Well, yeah, I mean, the people are particularly willing and energetic to do this rebuilding because they know that it means a chance that the world hasn't had in thousands of years. I mean, we've talked a lot about this off the air and about like, the beast was dangerous and difficult and all of these things, but in the end, part of the reason that it's still around is because civilization on this world never got to progress to a point where there were people strong enough and learned enough and powerful enough to do the things that you did. The four of you were special because you came from a place in which high-level magic is accessible, in which training is possible, in which resources and generational knowledge exists. That just didn't exist in this world. And so for the first time, it will. For the first time in a long time, it will. And that is a reward that this generation certainly won't see, the next one certainly won't see, but knowing that it exists is a huge motivator to the people to rebuild and to move forward.
Cool.
I love that.
Yeah.
I would also love to open those Southern Island portals again.
Oh, yeah, I mean, you would have a project to find them and to sort of suss out what they are and how they work, because a lot of that also is very old magic. But yeah, I mean, certainly a project that can be undertaken.
Biz can speed along, trying to find the portals.
Well, it's not about going fast. It's all buried and flooded and rubbleized. All right,
I can help you.
Magic.
You two, either one of you, what do you got to tell me?
Well, I think Flik, for the most part, sticks around, at least at first.
Okay.
I think he, feeling the power of the Shimmer Scale deplete eventually, decides if they would like it to give it back to the kobolds, since that was such a humongous symbol for them. It may not mean the same thing anymore, but I think now it's more of a relic of this and this experience, and as we said, like the history of it all. It doesn't mean the same thing, but I think that it means even more now in a way.
I love that. Yeah.
So I want to give that to them. And his MO this now is to not only help rebuild and whatnot, but I think eventually he hasn't really had a home for a very long time in his life.
Sure.
And I think that now he sort of takes off. I think eventually he'll discover how to travel between all of those worlds that we saw in the Arcanium or the Arcania.
Okay.
And, visit all of those different places and kind of tell the story in other places and invite. And if I don't even know if I have to ask permission for this, but like invite people to the Last Refuge or invite others that might want to also. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think certainly the Last Refuge and this world can become part of sort of that system, right? Can become reconnected to the other planes and other worlds in the material plane. So yeah, I don't see why not. I mean, listen, it's a lot of magic. It's very powerful. It's not something you're just sort of snapping off whenever. But yeah, I don't see why not.
But I think at the risk of comparing, to media, I think it's very Guardians of the Galaxy vibes.
Sure.
He's going on. He has a great soundtrack all the time.
Yeah.
And he always comes back to this place.
Yeah. Before you start, after about another year, one day, before you all, while you're still rebuilding, you're still learning, you'll all sort of spend a lot of time still in the same vicinity. You run across these 4 very lost looking people, and they say, "Where are we?"
Oh, no.
Our dad sent us here to try and...
Oh, no,
I'm totally kidding.
and then it cuts to Mean Girls, and if any freshmen to bring organized religion to the Last Refuge, we'll take care of them.
We'll take care of them.
Beast
that does not
sound.
happen. Yeah. You were the beast all along! All right. No, that doesn't happen. Go ahead, kid.
Yeah. I mean, I think the beginning is Kit is going around with her siblings and, using her magic to help rebuild and, do what she can to help, bring the world back to not quite what it was before, but a new starting place. And I think that as she watches her siblings help build libraries and write songs and tell stories, and as we're thinking about history, I think Kit, needs to take a moment to think about how she wants to contribute in that way to the future of this world. And she thinks back to her little group of spellcasters that she taught, and she decides to open a school.
I love that.
And I think she opens the school on the central island.
Oh,
because
okay,
she wants everyone to know that no matter what island you come from, you are welcome at this school.
Yeah.
I think she also offers her healing services to anyone who wants to come to her.
Sure.
And I think, she has a happy life training people,
Long
healing. But I do think maybe a year and a half, 2 years, a little bit of time, but not too long. She remembers the letter that she wrote.
Yeah.
And she remembers a promise that she made. And so she gathers her siblings and she says, "All right, y'all, you just trust me on this. Just trust me." And she places a hand on a tree. Because she's figured out that she always could have gone home if she wanted to, but now she's ready. And so she holding her siblings, and everyone's holding our hands. We're a little group. She places her hand on the tree. Now I'm crying. Oh my god, I need a moment.
Yep, take a minute. We did so good, though, I will say. 34 minutes, and we've, this is a 1 or 2 here.
That's right.
And the door opens.
Yeah.
And it's the tree right outside her mother's house. And she steps through. Her siblings step through. And there's her mom.
Yep.
Digging in the garden. And she looks at Kit, and Kit looks at her. She runs to her. And they hug. She says, "I have a letter for you." And they laugh and they cry. And she brings her siblings inside, and they sit down and they tell their story.
Yeah. It's that same day that you four go back to Faerun. And our little camera that we haven't talked about in a while now zooms in on a dark room. And it's too dark to see, but you hear voices. We hear voices. I mean, I'm impressed. They did it. And they stuck around, and they've rebuilt, and this place is finally getting somewhere. I'm ready. The other voice replies, on second thought, not that much in a hurry. Oddly enough, feels like maybe this world deserves a little time to prosper, to have peace. Really? How much time? Well, I don't know. A while. See what happens. Keeps things interesting. If I say so. Fair enough. Oh. Ugh. It's time to go feed the little one. Half-orc that she is, an all-glorp diet just isn't enough. You hear shuffling footsteps, and a door opening and closing. And the remaining voice says, "A child should worry me more than it does. Half glorp, half mortal. Oh well. Time will tell." And that's where we're going to leave it for this week.
Chuckles!
Thanks so much for listening to this special epilogue episode of The Last Refuge. We got one more for you. Do a little Q&A with the cast and with Robert. See what happens and ask some questions that I know the crew has had for a long time. I've gotten some previews of some of them. Strap in. We're going to premiere it just like we have all the other episodes this season on Wednesday, next Wednesday, twitch.tv/DMJazzyhands. Much of the cast and company will be in attendance to hang out with you and chat while we watch. And that's it, folks. That'll be it for us. But we're not done yet. As always, I want to thank Robert Hupf, my story consultant, for this campaign. Of course, all of you for continuing to watch and listen. I'm your friendly neighborhood dungeon master, DM Jazzy Hands, and with me I have
Byzdera.
Kid.
Bria.
And Flik.
Happy gaming, y'all.